Aston Villa have just beaten Newcastle 3-0 at Villa Park to boost their European hopes after a fifth straight win. Ollie Watkins with 2 more goals after Jacob Ramsey's opener. And we can hear from both goal scorers now.
They are both goal scorers. Ollie, that was a sensational performance.
Yeah, I think we're on a great run at the moment. Didn't really have much chances today, so it just shows what levels we're at the moment. You know, once we get that first goal as well, it's a hard place to come. Teammates in tight areas on the pitch, and if we make a mistake, we just go again. Everyone's enjoying it, and yeah, we're looking forward to all the games to come.
The boss always says at home we've got to start fast, and we did that. Everyone knew that Newcastle were a physical side, and we had to match them today, and we did that.
You can feel the buzz in the crowd. They're really expecting something here.
Buzz and the energy to start the game well and end the game well. 5
Premier League wins on the trot. That hasn't happened for a quarter of a century. Would you believe that?
I didn't know that, no, but yeah, like I said, we're on a great run at the moment. We're taking each game as it comes, and we're trying to win every game as possible. And coming here, obviously a hard place to come, and we're trying to win every game.
Unai Emery is talking about ambition. He's talking about Europe. Are you?
Yeah, I think for most of the squad, this is the first time Europe's come about. If we do get there, I think we've got to remain humble, but why not? We're on a good form. We've still got to play teams around the area, so hopefully we can win them games, and Europe it is.
Top work. He did one more job, just pass that back to him. He was unplayable today.
Yeah, special afternoon for both those players, and for Jacob Ramsey in particular, being a local lad from the Birmingham area, growing up an Aston Villa supporter. And what a time to be a Villa player and a Villa fan right now. 5 straight wins, 7 wins in the last 8. And the mere fact that we're talking about a possible top 4 charge is quite something. But Ollie Watkins, 11 goals in his last 12 appearances. He's really hit his straps right now then, Tim, hasn't he?
He's been outstanding. You know, we said it'd be a battle in the nines. We fancied Isak because of the weak defence of Aston Villa, but they never got anywhere near him. And it started, look at Ramsey's pass here. Ollie's on his way, shows him his number, and he just runs in behind, causes him all sorts of problems. Could have put him in the lead here. Just gets a little bump from Botman. Just thinks it puts him off a little bit out.
He was unplayable. Not many teams or players have done that to Newcastle this season. We're talking about the best defence in the league here, and they've been battered today, and it all started from him. All started from running in behind. Everything about him was impressive. They couldn't handle him. They couldn't handle his pace, his strength, his know-how, his positioning in and around the box, his little give and goes. They didn't know whether to go tight, drop off, and in the end they did neither, and he punished them. Could have, probably should have had more goals, but yeah, what a performance. They fed him as well in the right positions. We highlighted him before the game in terms of positioning in and around the box and getting into the 6-yard box, and he did that really, really well today. So impressive.
But everyone's playing to their strengths. You know, you've got Ramsey from the wide position, running past him, stretching the Newcastle defence. You've got McGinn on the other side doing it. When they got a chance to put the ball in the box, that's what they do. They put it in there. You know, Bondia that recognises when to thicken up the midfield and outnumber Newcastle in there. Very strong, held the ball up, bought fouls for them time and time again. Ollie does that, keeps them going that way, opens up the space for them. He's a catalyst for everything they do very, very well. There's so much cohesion about this side.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. Their understanding of what their manager wants them to do in terms of being solid when they have to be, the protection in that back 4, but then getting into positions where you're asking so many questions of Newcastle's back 4 and midfield. And Newcastle just couldn't handle their positioning today, their understanding of the game. They were superb. It was, if you weren't a Newcastle fan like I was, then it would have been great to watch.
But good on you, Alan. You're still smiling. And we're hoping to hear from both managers after the break here on Matchday Live, as the dust settles on what was quite an outcome, really, in the West Midlands. Just look at that emotional release from Unai Emery. A big win for him. Certainly much for Eddie Howe to reflect upon. Hoping to hear from both of them in just a few moments. So Newcastle are left to reflect on their heaviest defeat of the season after a 3-0 loss away to Aston Villa. What did Eddie Howe make of it? Here he is now.
Eddie, you've been in great form lately, but disappointing result today. What happened?
Yeah, I think it's one of those performances for us that we need to analyse, and then probably move on quite quickly because we weren't there today. I thought Aston Villa played very well. I have to give them a lot of credit, but from our own high standards, probably off it in every discipline of the game, and when that's the case, you're never going to win.
Yeah, I mean, they caught you in the first half straight from the off. I mean, that's kind of set the tone for the first half, especially.
Yeah, that we had our moments as we do because we've got good players, and there was moments in the game there for us. But no, we weren't at our best today. I think that was obvious from my perspective quite early. We tried to make changes to try and get a grip of the game. Nothing really turned the force our way, so it's one for us to analyse, as I say, and then probably move on quite quickly. We've got a number of key games to come. Very unlike us, I'd say, in general, the performance.
Yeah, I was talking to Alan during the break just now before from Eddie Howe, and you said exactly the same thing. Yeah. This isn't a result to dwell on, just to move on from.
No, you shouldn't worry too much. It would be a concern that they didn't turn up, really. But that hasn't happened this season at all. They've been beaten this season, but when they have, they've always given enough to say, OK, we'll go again. But on this performance from every single player, you've just got to look at it as an isolated game and say, yeah, we accept it. Aston Villa were much better than us today. They were the better team. They deserved to win. We look at why, and there'll be a lot of reasons why, but move on quickly because it hasn't happened this season. It's a one-off. So hopefully it doesn't happen again. And it might just act as a kick up the backside for the final run into the season, which they're going to need. And they should be a lot better against Tottenham next weekend.
Well, they've got a cup final next week, Al, haven't they? You know, with both teams positioned where they are, fighting for the same prize. I think everything always stems, as a manager, I think, out of possession. How are we out of possession? They won't be allowed at St James's to play like that out of possession. It was so timid. It was passive. They won't be allowed to do that. The fans won't allow that. So next week they're going to get that, right? That's a given. And then they're going to have to perform. They're going to have their moments. You'd have to pick a team who can play under pressure next week because it's a pressurised environment. Almiron, I think, will be back. I'm not sure if Sam Maximan's going to be back. But Gordon, players like that, you can't give him another chance. Unfortunately, he's given an opportunity there and you can't give him another chance.
I mean, this is a kind of season-defining game, really, isn't it, against Spurs?
It's a big one.
Yeah, huge game, massive game. Both clubs fighting for that fourth position or even third position.
Well, Spurs had to play Villa as well, by the way.
Yeah, it was disappointing today, but again, massive, particularly after what Newcastle have done really well this season to show high energy, high press. That's been a key factor in everything that they've done. They couldn't get near Aston Villa today, right from the off with that through ball for Watkins.
Did the team change work for you?
Pardon?
Did the team change work for you?
No.
Sean Longstaff for...
No, they missed his energy in midfield. Anthony Gordon didn't work as well on that left-hand side. He didn't offer anything. He was poor in possession, didn't offer any protection defensively. And I was surprised he actually came out at half-time. He would have said to him, you've got 10 minutes, which he did. Yeah. And it didn't work again, so it was the right thing to take him off. So that didn't work, no.
OK, but let's end on Villa. The fact that they are just 6 points off the top four, Tim. Did you ever see this coming?
Never. I said before the show, like 6 weeks ago, you felt like we're just going to cruise to the beach, for this season and Dustin have a look, see what they can do next year. They weren't going to get relegated. They weren't going to finish in the Europa League. Yeah. Now they've got a sneak of finishing in the Champions League. Look, things have to go their way. But the way they're playing, the confidence they're having, onwards and upwards, then Villa fans, there's so much looking forward to next year now. They will invest. They've got finances there at Villa. He will know the ones he don't want. He'll be able to move them on because they were a good age. Yeah. And he will go and strengthen. I mean, when he picks... I keep going on about it. When them four central midfield players play across the middle, you know you're going to get the ball back. And what other characteristics have they got to help you attack? Well, the two wide players run beyond. They keep running beyond. For the fans, sometimes they want to see someone with a little bit of trickery, drop their shoulder and go past anyone. They're not. They're forced now by this manager to see it this way. Absolutely brilliant job Unai Emery's done, and congratulations to Aston Villa.